everybody, what's going on? And it's Monday once again.
Yep.
Here we are talking about another movie. And as I said last week, because we actually watched this last Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
We watched it like sometime last week.
It's Thursday or Friday.
It was Thursday or Friday. Well, no,
Yeah.
because we were out.
We out Friday.
Yeah, we did the show Friday.
Did the show Friday.
But yeah, so I think we watched it Thursday night maybe.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I
movie,
liked this a lot.
Yeah.
You can tell, I mean, I will watch pretty much anything that Guillermo del Toro makes because he's rad. But you can tell that this was like a big passion project for him. He has been wanting to make a Frankenstein adaptation since he was a child. A literal child. So Frankenstein, he says, is his favorite novel of all time. And he's been wanting to do an adaptation. And he actually wanted to do one going back to like the 2000s. They were talking about doing one. But then because of various different things. I mean, Kenneth Branagh made that one that had Robert De Niro in it, which was okay. Although the script was good, he was saying that the script was written by Frank Darabont. And he really liked that angle on it. But then they were gonna do it, and then like Universal wanted to do Dark Universe, and they were like, okay, we can't do it then, and like all this other kind of shit. So finally, Netflix gave him the money to do it, and he was super jacked. And like I said,
yeah, it's free on Netflix.
Yeah, you can watch it on Netflix. It actually was playing at a theater.
Yeah.
Not like the AMC theaters. It was like a smaller chain called Amstar.
Yeah.
And the closest one it was at was like Lake Mary, which is probably like 20-ish miles away.
Release.
Yeah.
But it's like a theatrical level movie. It's like a major movie. It's good. It's really close to like the book, the writing of the book, in the way that the story is told, which is, the same thing with Dracula. You know what I mean? Where a lot of people don't realize that those books are basically found footage.
Yeah, Dracula more than Frankenstein, but I mean Dracula is for sure like a found footage novel. It's all letters and newspaper and archives and stuff like that. Frankenstein is less like that, but it's also not a straightforward story. It's like a flashback, and then it changes perspectives, which this movie does also. He did make some changes from the novel. But as far as, I mean, every adaptation has done that.
Just for time constraints, too.
Well, and even the Boris Karloff one, like, was a lot different than the actual book. But,
yeah, that's really dumbed down, the Karloff ones.
I actually liked a lot of the changes that he made, to this, where, like, I like the addition of Christoph Waltz, who is in it, and I love him, he's great. He plays, I guess because there's no Henry Clerval in the movie like there is in the book. But I guess this guy is like a surrogate for that, but he's also like the backer. Like he's the guy that's funding Dr. Frankenstein with like all this money. And I think that that's good because then you're just like, where the fuck did he get all this money to do this shit? I mean, I know like he comes from a wealthy family and crap. But I mean, the stuff that he's doing...
Yeah, he had unlimited funds.
Yeah, he basically had unlimited funds. So I like that they kind of had that. Also kind of an interesting choice. Mia Goth's character, she plays Elizabeth. Now, in the novel, she's Victor's girlfriend, like fiance. In the movie, they made her William's fiance, like his younger brother.
Yeah.
And that kind of added an interesting... And, like, he's kind of pining after her a little bit, and she kind of seems to flirt back, but in the end, she's like, nah, she's going to marry William instead. So I thought that kind of added an interesting, like, love triangle aspect. It's not super hammered on, but I kind of liked that aspect of it, too.
Yeah, Mia does a great job in this, too, man. Like,
I love her. She's so cool.
Yeah, she looks really great, and she had there's no nude scenes of her that I can think of. But almost, there's a couple where she's walking around in that nightie, you can see right through it. And, because she's not scared of being nude. Yeah. And she does a good job. Her real good job at acting this character. This is just like a Victorian kind of uptight lady in a way, but she had a wild streak too.
Yeah, she's uptight, but she's also kind of saucy.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like...
real about morals and stuff.
Yeah, she was like in a convent. And also she's like kind of a little bit of a science nerd, which I thought was kind of cool. Like she's all into like insects and stuff, like entomology.
What I liked, what they did differently, is Frankenstein himself, the monster, the creature. He's spooky looking, he's intimidating looking, but at the same time he's good looking in a way. Dr. Frankenstein's not making him as a monster. He's making him as a great creation. That makes a lot more sense. And he's a Superman, basically. He has fucking superhuman abilities of healing. He's basically immortal.
Yeah, which is not, as far as I remember, is not from the novel. Like, I don't think he... I think he could be killed in the novel, I'm pretty sure.
He's extremely intelligent, and he's tall, and real lean looking. He's made out of the biggest parts he could find to make the surgery better, to make the surgery easier. That way the pieces are bigger.
Which makes total sense if you were going to construct a person.
Right, but he's not making him to make him a monster. The monster's actually Victor Frankenstein. He's the monster.
Which is the same theme as the novel.
Yeah.
It's just this movie makes it a lot more obvious.
Once he makes the creature or his invention, he over time kind of mistreats it, and I think
he's a real douche.
I think he's kind of jealous of him, in a way. And Mia Goth's character is kind of turned on by him. She likes him, and they it's just a different take, and it makes sense. And a lot of the things that would happen in the books and a lot of the movies, it's actually more accurate. Like the Spirit of the Forest story, where he does meet the blind man. But it's more like in the book. He was hanging out in the woods watching his whole family and protecting them and helping them. And over time, he meets he meets the old man.
Yeah.
And then they come back from hunting a wolf. They were gone for a few weeks and mistaken identity. The wolves were attacking the old man, and the hunters thought that the creature did it, and they started shooting him.
Yeah.
He's impervious to gunshots, though. I mean, it fucks him up, but it can't kill him. He just heals up, and he heals up within about a day.
Yeah, that was one change that they made from the novel. Like I said, in the novel, he wasn't like immortal or impervious to harm, but in the movie, he is. Which, in a way, I kind of like that better because. I mean, even though it probably doesn't make a lot of sense, like, from a scientific standpoint, or blah, blah, blah. But neither does, like, bringing the dude back with, like, his lymph system with lightning or anything, right? Yeah. So just roll with it.
Yeah, it's science fiction.
Yeah, it's science fiction.
And it's philosophy.
But I like that because because Victor Frankenstein doesn't make him a mate, just like in the novel, but because he's immortal in the movie... He's, like, doomed to be, like, forever alone. And he has to, like, find... Because he can't die.
Yeah.
So he has to find a way to, like, deal with that.
Yeah. He looks like a... He looks like a tall, slender version of one of the engineers from Prometheus. So he looks kind of like
it's very similar to that. And the thing about it, like, that wasn't even... The actor's name is Jacob Elordi. And he was not actually the original actor. Actually, when they were talking about doing this movie back in 2010 or wherever the hell, they were going to use Doug Jones because obviously Guillermo del Toro. Anytime you want a monster, you want Doug Jones. You know what I mean? Because he's the one, he played the Pale Man in Pan's Labyrinth, and he was the creature in The Shape of Water. And he's like very tall and very thin. And so anytime you want like a monster that has to like wear a suit, you want Doug Jones to do it. He's really good at it. But then he couldn't end up doing it. And then originally they got Andrew Garfield, and he actually got all the prosthetics for this done and everything like that. But then there was some kind of contractual thing or scheduling conflicts, and he had to drop out after they'd done 9 months of work on the prosthetics and all that stuff for him. And so they only had 9 weeks left, and they had to get Jacob Elordi in there like kind of last minute as far as movie making goes, and they had to start all over again because he was much taller.
He did a good job though.
Yeah, he's great in this.
He's like I said before, it makes more sense that Victor Frankenstein wasn't trying to make a monster. He wasn't. He was trying to prove that God was irrelevant, that man could make life too, and man could make man.
Yeah, that you could conquer death.
And he was and so he was into immortality too, and he was trying to make a better man, and that's what he came up with. So, yeah, he looked unearthly because he was made out of a bunch of stuff he was sewn together, but he looked fucking cool too.
But still strangely hot.
Yeah.
And I've seen that like when he's first brought to life, and he's got like all the bandages like around his midsection and crotch area. And I've seen a lot of people wonder if that was an homage to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because it looks kind of like
maybe.
the outfit that Rocky Horror had on.
He was the male version of the Bride of Frankenstein. The Bride was hot.
Yeah,
but he's like that now. He's Frankenstein's creation. He's a big, tall, hot Superman. Basically,
there's so many.
But he looks undead, kind of.
There's so many memes going around now about how all these women are finding this monster hot. And women are into monsters. It's like
the actor did a good job with his physical acting's real good. He's real lithe and real athletic, and he's acrobatic. He's not like like that. No, he's good. He can fight wolves and pull people's fucking bottom jaws out. Pow! Like that.
That was great.
He's extremely strong.
This is pretty. I don't know if I'd call this a straight up horror movie. It's like a gothic drama, but it's pretty gory at times, which I thought was I'm fine with that.
Yeah, when he first wakes up, he's kind of his brain's not firing on all cylinders. Takes him a while to learn to speak and to become conscious. Really, he starts off infantile, and during that time the fucking Victor gets frustrated with him. He thinks it's a failure. But he's actually very intelligent and real sensitive. He's a real sensitive guy. The world fucks him up. He in order to survive, he becomes pretty fucking ruthless and bitter. But you understand why when you understand his story. And you get to hear kind of like the creature's tale. He tells his tale too.
The book is like that too, I think. It's like it's Victor's story telling it to the crew of the ship that found him in the ice or whatever. Yeah. And then the creature tells his side of the story. Because otherwise, if it was all from Victor's point of view, he wouldn't know what had happened after the creature took off and met the family and the blind man and all that. And got it got his ass handed to him.
Yeah, the creature's fucking understanding philosophy and life, and he's having mental journeys through fucking self-development, and then he decides that he's just got to kill fucking Frankenstein, Dr. Frank, because he doomed him basically.
Yeah,
and in the end he forgives him though. It's weird. It's a good story.
Which in the book, it's been a long time since I read it, but they do meet up again. I think at the end on the ship, just like in the movie. I don't know if he goes so far to forgive Victor, but he does kind of mourn him. Yeah. Although the implication in the book is that after Victor dies, the monster just wanders off into the ice and says he's going to immolate himself, essentially. Yeah. So he's going off to commit suicide. But in the movie, he can't do that. He actually does blow himself up at one point, but it doesn't work. Yeah. So it's so he can't die. So he's kind of cursed in a way.
Yeah, Victor brought some dynamite to blow him up with. And he says, if you think that'll kill me, let's try it. And he ran out and was holding a couple sticks of dynamite and blew up. It didn't phase him. Yeah. He's too tough. Yeah. So it was just, and it was kind of it had a big theme of that the creation was superior to the creator spiritually. That Victor was a douchebag.
Oh yeah.
And the creature was actually kind of a good man. And he was a lot better than Victor. But people treated him so poorly because how he looked. Yeah. Because he didn't look human. He looked superhuman, I guess.
Yeah, and he couldn't help it.
He couldn't help it, so he couldn't fit in. So he was just doomed, and he got real bitter. But in the end, he kind of gave up his bitterness supposedly, and just walked off into the North Pole. Looking
at the sunset or the sunrise or whatever. Yeah. But everybody in this killed it. I mean, Oscar Isaac was a great Victor Frankenstein. Now, like I said, this is Victorian, and it was made by a Mexican director, so it is over the top some, but that's how it's supposed to be, And Victor, he's a jerk in the book too. I think they ramped up the jerkiness slightly for the movie, but like I said, he's a pretty big dick in the book too. Because the whole point of the book is that it's Victor Frankenstein, the creator, is the monster, not the actual monster, because he thought that he could play God. It was his arrogance and his hubris or whatever, and he tried to play God and got punished for it. So it's kind of the same thing here, and I like too. They had kind of a through line, and I can't remember if they go too much into this in the book, but Where Victor, he seemed so focused and dead set on creating the man that once he did it, like, he didn't really seem to give any thought about what would happen if he succeeded. Like, after now you have this whole ass person, you know what I mean? It's almost like a dude, like, hey, I want a kid, and, like, knocking some chick up, but, like, not really thinking about, like, what actually having a kid entails.
He couldn't raise it.
Yeah, he couldn't,
and so
all he did, he just chained it in the fucking basement.
Yeah.
And just kind of whipped him and stuff. I mean, to be fair, they do show, like, at the beginning of the movie, like, the very beginning, just like in the novel, is the guys on the ship, like, finding him on the ice, and him telling the captain the story, and then it kind of goes into Victor's childhood some. And Victor's dad, who was also a doctor, was pretty abusive, and once William was born, the younger son, he clearly favored that son.
Yeah.
And didn't really like Victor too much and was always, like, beating on him.
Yeah, Victor became a dick like his dad.
Yeah, and that was another kind of tragedy, is that he continued the cycle of abuse, like, on his own son, you know what I mean? That he did the same thing.
He was emotionally abusive.
Yeah.
Fucking the Mia Goth's character, she went down in there to try to interact with him and wanted to raise him, and he put a stop to that.
Yeah.
Basically. Which, she's like, you just keep him chained up? You know, and he's like, yeah, fuck him, he's a failure. Basically.
Yeah, it's like, well, he was mad at first because I think, maybe what it was is I think that he expected that when he succeeded and brought this man back to life, that he would be like a genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, so when he came back...
It was an infant.
And he was still, like, infantile. He could barely talk and all this other kind of stuff. And he just didn't have the patience to, like, sit there and teach him anything. He just kind of chained him down in the basement and was like, nah, fuck that. You know what I mean? It was just like, he didn't
have a
want to put any
bone
effort.
in him. He was like his dad didn't nurture him either, so he didn't...
Yeah, so he didn't really have a role model, to be fair. Right. But, like I said, I thought it was an interesting choice. I think I kind of liked that he did this. But I did think it was an interesting choice that he made Mia Goth's character, Elizabeth, William's fiance and not Victor's.
Yeah.
But
Spoiler alert, she still dies, though.
Well, William does too. And they both do in the book. That's not really a spoiler, like I said, if you know anything about... That's the cool thing about talking about Frankenstein, even though it's a new Frankenstein movie.
You know the plot.
There's changes from the book, but it's like all the adaptations change stuff from the book, and everybody's familiar with the story, so it's not like everybody's like, oh, you ruined it, you know what I mean?
If you ask me, it's the best Frankenstein movie.
It's the best one I've seen. Yeah. I mean, props to the Boris Karloff one, and, you know...
I even liked The Bride.
I did too. It's kind of trashy, but like in a good way.
Yeah. Sting could act. Mm-hmm. And Brimstone Treacle, man, he was great at that too. Sting can act. He's not...
Especially when he's playing a shithead.
Yeah.
Because I suspect that's what he's probably like in real life. Yeah. So he's probably not acting.
He's just talking women and climbing up on his lingam and shit. In the lotus position.
You know how
we're just going to sit in the lotus position. You climb on top of it like that, and I'll just have a...
spiritual
orgasm. We won't have to thrust. Don't just will it to happen. Yeah.
We still make jokes about Sting.
That's what's happening. Yeah. He was trying to get that to work on a bunch of housewives, and it did. I think it did. And when he started making music for my mom, basically in the late '80s, I'm like, oh shit, he's making music for my mom now, man.
I know. I love the Police though. I still do.
Yeah, and some of his solo albums, the first one was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah.
But Turtles and shit had some good shit on it.
Yeah, I had that on vinyl. I don't know what happened to it.
But he just started getting too much of that tantric fucking metaphysical
it
bullshit.
Got a little.
He had that smirk on his face. You know he's bullshitting you.
Yeah, I always thought he was like kind of bitchy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's a bitch,
but kind of in a funny way. You know, he's kind of fun.
Ego got to him.
Kind of witty.
But he was a great musician. Oh.
Yeah,
and a great actor. He's a good actor.
Yeah. But and I don't even remember. I think we reviewed The Bride actually. I think it didn't get very good reviews when it came out. It came out like 1985 or something.
I still liked it though.
I liked it a lot too.
Yeah.
But it obviously didn't have, because in the book, Victor does not make a bride.
Yeah.
At all. Like what happens is the monster comes to him and actually, and this is different than the Guillermo del Toro one. The monster actually kills William, his little brother. And then he comes to him and basically says, I'm going to fuck your shit up unless you make me a mate. And so Victor says he will, and him and Henry Clerval even go to, did we go like the Orkney Islands or somewhere like that? And they get a lab set up, but then the more Victor thinks about it, he's like, oh shit, this is like going to be such a bad idea, which they do address in this movie, because when the monster comes to him and says, I want you to make me a companion, and he's just basically says no, like outright. He's like, no, because you would propagate monsters and all this other kind of stuff.
A whole race of monsters.
A whole race of monsters. Which, like I said, and I still remember a long time ago, the Stephen King book, Danse Macabre. He has a big, long chapter about Frankenstein and about all his themes and stuff. And he said it's actually quite funny that Mary Shelley, who was only 18 when she wrote it, and, you know, she came from the Victorian era, obviously, it didn't occur to her that Victor Frankenstein could have... He made a whole-ass person. He could make a woman without a womb.
Yeah.
But that didn't occur to her, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it wouldn't. You know, she was young and she was from that era, so you wouldn't think of it, I guess.
You just make her sterile.
Yeah, just make her sterile and problem solved.
We're talking about the dude that played Victor Frankenstein's the guy who played Poe Dameron in the fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which he that was a great character. That really could have been a really good Star Wars character. He was good at. It was just like I couldn't stand those 3 Star Wars movies. It's shit Star Wars. But he was great in it. A lot of the actors were great in it.
I always liked her. I always liked Oscar Isaac. He's very charismatic.
Yeah, he's real good in it. Mia Goth fucking knocks it out of the park.
Her outfits in this.
Yeah. Oh. The dude.
I want all of her dresses.
Dude that played Victor Frankenstein's fucking financier, the guy who's backing him with all the money.
Christoph Waltz.
He's the guy that played Q in fucking.
He's been in a million things.
007 series.
He was in Inglourious Basterds.
He didn't play Q. What did he play? He played.
He wasn't Q. He was.
What's that guy? Doctor. The bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy.
The bad guy, yeah. The guy who had the cat and shit.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil, not Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil.
That guy's name was.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Feldberg? No.
Dude, I can't remember.
Fuck, anyway.
You keep talking and I can't
Blofeld. He plays Blofeld. Yeah, and he's real good in it. And you find out the reveal's pretty cool. I think it was the original. The reason why, and he buys him a badass fucking laboratory. It's a big ass fucking castle.
Yeah, I mean the castle was there already, like it was abandoned.
It's already there.
But he's just like, here, I thought this would be really good because it's really remote.
Yeah, and it was a big aquifer. It's part of an ancient water department.
Yeah,
so he's doing this shit in water storage in this big tower. And you find out right before he starts getting ready to turn on his damn creature, his creation. The guy fucking reveals. By the way, I want you to put my brain in there
because I have syphilis.
Yeah, and he's like, no, you can't do that. Your brain's tainted. It'll just kill it. And he goes, but I paid for all this. He thought that he could get that if he got a new body, that he could
it would be all right.
That he could beat syphilis. No, didn't work out too well for him.
It does not, and actually that was a pretty gory scene.
Yeah, so.
But I feel like that's maybe something that should have been disclosed. Because here's the thing. I kind of liked the kind of slow rollout of that. Because you know that Christoph Waltz, who, like I said, he's playing a character that's not really in the book. There is a character named Henry in the book. But that's just like his friend or whatever. Henry Clerval. But this guy is Henry, but he has a different last name. And this guy is just like, he meets him, or he goes to one of Frankenstein's lectures, and he's really impressed by his thing, and he's like, hey, I know what you're doing, and he kind of knew a lot about what he was doing and how he was going to work, and he's like, I tell you what, I will give you unlimited funds
to make your
make your creature, and you know, Victor's like, well, what's the catch? Well, you know, I might ask you for a little favor later on. So you know that something's...
Well, the favor was I want to be in that body.
Yeah, I want my brain in that body.
Yeah, and fucking, But it all started to make sense of why he was footing the bill.
Yeah, because you know he had a motive.
He was extremely rich, and he was going to those fucking seminars and scientific fucking demonstrations to try to find somebody who could come up with a cure.
Who could do it, yeah.
And he was like, yeah, okay, there's my cure right there. So,
but popping a whole ass syphilitic brain into a body, that's not gonna fix
Victor was
anything.
like, oh, hold on.
He's like, no, man, that's not gonna work.
No, that's a systemic problem. I put that brain in there, you'll just poison the body.
Yeah.
It won't work.
He's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then the dude gets on.
And then begins. He's like, oh no. This is
I
not
paid
mine.
for all this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Yeah. So it's like this big confrontation.
Yeah, and I thought that was a great angle.
Yeah, that's a good. Like I said, that's not from the book, but I thought that was a really good idea because that explained how he got all this money, and then there was another conflict that was introduced.
And why?
And and why? And there was a reason why he was giving him all the money.
He got hoodwinked.
Yeah, pretty much.
He was being used.
Yeah.
By a fucking rich, desperate dude.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was a really good angle as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was wondering if, because I was gonna say I thought maybe slightly, the whole emotional heft of Elizabeth getting killed by the monster. Although on this movie, technically the monster doesn't kill her. Victor actually kills her, not on purpose, but you know what I mean? But because it wasn't his wife, as in the movie, because in the book, I didn't he say the creature, he got mad at Victor for either not making the bride or destroying the bride, like before he woke her up, and he says to Victor something like, "I'll be with you on your wedding night," or something like that, meaning he's gonna kill his new wife. This does, I mean, and in this movie, it does happen at the wedding, but it's at William and Elizabeth's wedding. And they both pretty much get killed on the same day. Whereas in the book, I think William is killed like sometime before, and then Elizabeth is killed like later on. But they both get killed. But like I said, everything is kind of more in service. Because, you know, it's Guillermo del Toro, and his whole thing, like pretty much every movie he's ever made, is sympathy for the monster. You know what I mean? He's very open about that. He's like, as from a kid, he always related to monsters more. The whole reason he made The Shape of Water, which obviously won the Best Picture award a few years back, he's like, was because when he was a kid and he saw Creature from the Black Lagoon, he was upset that the creature didn't get the girl. You know what I mean? So he's like, man, that creature was really into her. Like, why doesn't he ever get the girl, you know? So his whole thing is, so, you know, The Shape of Water is like what would happen, like, if that angle occurred. That's a great movie, too, by the way. Also, not a horror movie, but, you know. But so that's kind of his whole thing, is he's just a sympathy for the monsters guy. Like, monsters are misunderstood. And so he took that theme from the book, you know, that Victor Frankenstein is the real monster, and like just amplified it. So everything is kind of in service to that. Whereas in the book, the monster does kill William and kills Elizabeth, like on purpose. In this movie, he kills William kind of, sort of on purpose, but William's kind of a douche. And, he doesn't kill Elizabeth on purpose. Like, actually, Elizabeth, like, jumps in front of him to, like, hey, you know, don't hurt him or whatever. And then Victor kills her. So making Victor look even worse. And actually, before William dies, he says to Victor that he was always afraid of Victor. Like, he always thought he was the monster. So he even, like, says it, like, right outright. So, like I said, they did make several changes. He did make several changes from the novel, but I mean, I didn't mind them. Like I said, shit, I mean, back in the old days, the Universal ones, there were a lot of changes made in the Boris Karloff one and in the Bride of Frankenstein. Like I said, the Bride of Frankenstein, he didn't make a bride, you know? Or he just partially made her and then said, fuck that, and then he destroyed it, like, before he woke her up, you know? So that wasn't even a thing. Like, she didn't wake up or nothing, as far as I remember. Of course, like I said, it's been a long time since I read the book, but I'm pretty sure he didn't finish making her, or made her and then changed his mind and destroyed her, which is what made the monster mad. Yeah, Haida said Clancy Brown was the monster in The Bride. Yeah, that's right. And Jennifer Beals was in that, too. She played the bride. I saw that movie like a million times. It was on cable every day, it seemed. But I don't know. There was just something I always really liked about it. I mean, Sting made a great Dr. Frankenstein, I thought. Oh, Bee's Nest got arrested last night. Okay. Let's see. CB says, or no, High Desert said Jacob Elordi, the same guy that played the monster in this, played Elvis in Priscilla. I didn't see that. We saw the Baz Luhrmann Elvis.
Yeah, that was good.
Which was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But I didn't see Priscilla. Probably I should see that. I bet that's good. But yeah, I didn't realize that was... Because I knew he'd been in some other stuff, but I didn't... Like, he looked familiar, but I couldn't think of anything else that he'd been in. But for just coming in at, like, kind of the last minute, sorta, I mean, he killed it, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in this killed it. Like, and the costume design is just fucking gorgeous. The set design is fucking gorgeous. Everything about this movie, it's like every frame is, like, beautiful to look at. It's just a beautiful movie. And it's long, but it's like... I think it's like
it's not boring, though.
It's 2.5 hours, but it's like, yeah, I wasn't bored. And like I said, I could watch Frankenstein shit all day long. I really like that story.
It doesn't drag or anything. You're like, you're
into it. Yeah, and they really...
It starts off with an action scene. It starts as an action scene out on the North Pole.
Yeah.
Where a bunch of guys, their ships stuck in the water, stuck in the ice.
Just like in The Terror.
Yeah. And they get a dude comes running out of nowhere. He's being attacked by a creature.
Yeah.
And he kills a bunch of the dudes and...
Yeah, it's pretty brutal too. He's just like yanking people's arms off and shit like that.
They get him up in there. It turns out it's Victor Frankenstein. And they were like, "What was that?" And he tells them a story. He says, "It's something I created." Yeah, he tells them.
Sit your ass down.
Starts. Yeah, sit down. I'll tell you.
I got a long ass story to tell you.
Right.
And then so it's kind of like that. And then about the halfway-ish point, then it backtracks and goes back to the creature, and then you see everything mostly from the creature's point of view until they kind of meet up again toward the end.
He gets up in there in the ship with the captain, and he goes, "Okay, you heard his story. Let me tell you my story."
Yeah, it's like he said.
And he tells the story what happened. Yeah.
Which, like I said, I think that's kind of how the book is structured too. Like, because you definitely get a bunch of shit from Victor's point of view, and then you get, like, everything from the creature's point of view, like what was going on with the creature during all that time.
In the creature's point of view, actually, the story's I think the story's more interesting.
Yeah, because, like, what was that?
Living out in the wilderness and shit.
Yeah.
Being the spirit of the forest. What happened to the old man and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had forgotten this, but in the original Boris Karloff Frankenstein, isn't there that scene where Boris is out there with that little girl?
Yeah.
And she's throwing the flowers in the water or whatever, and then he throws her in the water and she drowns?
Yeah.
I had forgotten, but in the book, that doesn't happen. He actually saves the little girl from drowning, and the family thinks that he did it. That he was trying to drown her, and then they shoot at him.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't read the book.
Kind of a similar thing happens here with him befriending the blind man, which happens in the book too. But then, like, all these wolves get in and, like, attack the blind dude, and the monster comes back after the dude's already been... He's still alive, but he's all fucked up. And he's just like, oh no, and he's trying to help him, and then that's when the rest of the family comes back, is like, you motherfucker, you know what I mean?
In the Boris Karloff version, though, they never show him actually throw the girl in the water. Remember?
Mm.
They're just he and the little girl are throwing rose petals into the water.
Yeah.
Or flowers in
the
water.
Like daisies or whatever.
And then the next thing you know, the dad's coming in with the drowned
with
dog.
the drowned kid, yeah.
Yeah. So they leave it open to interpretation. You'd think that...
in movies back then, you couldn't show anybody drowning.
I don't think in the movies they showed him throw her in the water.
No, I don't think they did. Like, if I remember that scene.
I think they let the audience believe that he did it.
But you're also, like, led to understand that, like, he didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of before.
But you're also led to believe that he died in a big peasant uprising and the fucking castle got burned down. Didn't he die in the castle? In the Boris Karloff movie, he didn't survive it.
Well, he does survive because he comes back in the next one.
But they show him kind of coming out of the ground, though, right? There is no thing of him.
Man, I don't remember.
He doesn't ever chase Victor to the North Pole.
No, the whole North Pole thing. That's why I think people that only know Frankenstein's story from the Universal movies don't even know, or like, what is all this stuff with like this shit in the Antarctic or wherever the fuck it is?
Yeah, and
up in the Arctic Circle.
And in Karloff's monster, he never even speaks.
Yeah, he doesn't talk.
He just goes. Argh.
Whereas in the book, like, he's kind of childlike at first, but like he learns. Yeah. And just like they kind of do that here too. They take a slightly different angle, but I think in the book he does end up with this family, but he's hiding, so they don't know that he's in there, and they're teaching someone to speak English or whatever. Or they're teaching somebody to talk.
They're teaching the girl how to read.
Well, in the book, I think it's an adult, like somebody, like a foreigner, that they're teaching their language or something. So that's how he learns. And I think he finds a bunch of books too, like he learns to read. Yeah. Whereas in this, he kind of learns some stuff from behind the wall. But then when he befriends the blind guy, he's with the blind guy like for a whole season, like all winter. And I guess the blind guy like kind of teaches him to talk and.
Yeah, and in this version, the blind guy does know eventually that the creature tells him that he was made up out of dead bodies that were thrown away. And then he goes, "It's okay. From as far as I'm concerned, you're a good man."
Yeah,
that's and in this one, and it's more true to what I've been told about the book. I've never read the book, but that basically what the function of the creature in the book. What his function was is to actually come up with a bunch of humanist philosophy. Yeah. About life and human nature, and so that's what he's doing. In this, he's not a monster, even though he's doing monstrous shit. He's fighting, he's killing, he's pissed off, but he's also kind of like a philosopher. Yeah. Yeah, a genius philosopher.
Yeah, and he's
simply he was made to be intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah. And he is intelligent, and he's intelligent in this too. Yeah. Like he's not just. Like I said, in the Boris Karloff ones, people think he doesn't, he doesn't talk and he just kind of groans and stuff. But in the book, he was actually quite eloquent. Yeah. Like he couldn't talk at first, but then he learned. So he did eventually become what Victor was hoping, but I guess by that time, it was kind of too late.
Well, you see, he was superhuman. Yeah. He was biologically superhuman. And they did kind of explain that. Remember, he was tinkering around with his endocrine system. Yeah. And his limbic system, is that what he called it?
Yeah. Limbic
system.
Yeah.
So he was he was basically creating a lot of fucking hormones, basically. Yeah. He's on gear. But he was high performance. The high performance.
Like, man. He could be hurt, but like it would heal real quick.
It healed up within a day. A gunshot. It'd heal up in a day.
And like I said, toward the end, he got blown up. And he
yeah. And evidently, he couldn't drown.
Yeah, because there was that.
He couldn't drown, and I don't think he could be. He couldn't be burned up. Evidently,
no.
He was too tough.
Also, I kind of like that they had Victor during the whole fire when he was, setting the castle on fire and shit like that. He got like blown out, like an explosion, and it throws him against this stone monument thing like outside, and it like cracks his leg, like it's really gross. So he has a prosthetic leg, like for the rest of the movie.
The creature also didn't age. He was immortal.
Which, like I said, I thought that was kind of cool because it made his character like a lot more tragic. Because now his father, his creator, is dead and can't make him a companion, and he's gonna live forever looking like that, and he's just got to learn to deal with it somehow.
He didn't look bad. He'd make it in the goth era. He'd go right to goth club.
After a few hundred years, he'd fit right in.
He'd come into date. he could grow hair. He grew real long hair eventually.
He'd be fine. It'd be a long wait though.
And it was healing up.
That's true. That's true. But I did like the look of it. Like you said, it kind of looked like
kind of like a Prometheus,
like one of the engineers,
an engineer from
slightly.
The main difference when you see him, especially when he's first born, is that he's basically blue and pale, and he's bald and real lean. But he grows hair eventually, gets regular clothes. His face isn't ugly, but he looks gothed out.
Yeah. Which, like I said, you could get away with looking like that nowadays if you rocked it.
Yeah. People wouldn't notice it. And he was healing, too.
Yeah. So maybe eventually
he probably looked normal.
Like, he probably would have looked okay. Yeah. Now I'm kind of curious about it. Like,
because he hadn't been alive for very long.
Yeah, that's true.
A couple years.
Also on Netflix, there's like a 45-minute making of documentary about this movie, which I probably will watch at some point.
But definitely, I think it's the best Frankenstein movie.
It's a really good adaptation. Like I said, stuff has changed from the book, but they always change stuff from the book. So did the Universal one. Every single one has.
All the Draculas are different.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
If you guys have ever seen, like, what's that dude's name he's the angry video game nerd? What's his fucking James something?
I don't know.
But he does, like, a bunch of horror movie stuff, too. And he did a great video where he picked out, like, the 12 Draculas, like, that were kind of the best known Dracula adaptations, and, like, he ranked them, like, how accurate they were to the book. And it's fascinating. It's like a long ass video. It's like an hour and a half or something like that. But I've watched it like a bunch of times.
And he had a graph of which ones included what story
stuff,
elements, which was the one closest to the book. None of them have everything the book has in it.
No, there's not a single one.
There's a couple of them that are pretty close.
Oddly enough, the Francis Ford Coppola one, that one, and then there was one made for the BBC in the 70s or 80s. I can't remember. Those two were the most accurate. I think that, the Francis Ford Coppola one, that was probably more accurate just by virtue of including Quincy Morris, which I don't think a single other adaptation ever has. So I thought that when I saw that in the theater back in 1992 or whenever it came out, and I was like super jacked. I'm like, oh my God, somebody put Quincy in the movie. He's never in the movie. Poor guy. I mean, to be fair, you can remove him and it doesn't really make that much difference. But I kind of liked the touch of putting.
There's a lot of good Draculas. The one that I saw recently that impressed me was Spanish Dracula.
Yeah,
that
one, came out the same year as the Bela Lugosi one, 1931.
Yeah. Same set, same company, basically, just different director, different cast, English, Spanish dialogue, and that Spanish actor that does Dracula, I think he saw Nosferatu. Before it was destroyed or whatever, because he's playing him kind of like Nosferatu a little bit, but he can speak. Pretty good, and it's definitely shot better, and it has more of Dracula's wives in it.
Yeah,
and you see those sets a lot better in the Spanish version. The camera actually goes into the set and through it. It doesn't look static.
Yeah,
it looks a lot more 3D. You take advantage of those fucking expensive sets.
I mean, yeah. They're the same sets as the Universal, it's all Universal.
The English version,
yeah, but
just the English version doesn't shoot them as well. They're not dynamic shots. The Spanish one, the camera's moving through the set. And zooming.
I think they were a little more ahead of
it was kind of
a lot of
time.
American directors at that point, like who were still. I mean, film was a pretty newish medium at that point, so they were still kind of filming stuff like it was on a stage.
Like it was a fucking stage play.
So everything was like a lot more static. Like they didn't really figure out like all these dynamic camera.
Yeah, the Spanish language one is shot better. It's not Bela Lugosi though.
Yeah,
Bela is he was master of that role.
Well,
he played that role, on stage for a long time.
I think I said in my History of Horror video that I made a while back, I said the thing about Bela Lugosi was that you could ask somebody now in 2025 to go like dress up as like a traditional vampire, and they would wear what Bela Lugosi was wearing in Dracula, and they would talk like that.
Yep.
That's how indelible.
Yep.
That portrayal was. Like he pretty much owned that. I can't think of anybody that would be like a different vampire.
And that was all Bela's invention. That's not from the book.
No, not at all.
That was him working on that character. It's the same way as that Spock is Leonard Nimoy's character. He wrote all that shit, all those mannerisms. He was telling the writers, "Look, we need to do this." In Vulcan, it should be like that. He helped develop that character. Without Leonard Nimoy, there would be no Spock. There wouldn't really be any Vulcans either, because a lot of the Vulcan lore and culture was made up by Leonard Nimoy, and it was just a retelling of Judaism. That's all it is.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, it's a Jewish character, and this is great. This is a great character.
He's probably one of my favorite fictional characters of all time.
Yeah, Spock. Yeah. Spock's the shit.
Yeah, he's like my spirit animal.
Mm-hmm.
I have a big Spock.
And they had no. He was a generic alien when they first fucking came up with Spock. In the pilot episode, he's smiling and laughing. There's no concept of a Vulcan lore. He's just a man with pointed ears.
Yeah.
And Nimoy's like, no, we can work with this. We need to kind of make this character a little deeper. And he was coming up with stuff, and the writers listened. And they had no idea that Spock was going to be a sex symbol. That just blew their fucking mind. Spock was more popular than Captain Kirk with women.
Yeah. Which, like, most women would not be surprised about that, but somehow
dudes
always are.
Yeah. They thought the women would all like Kirk. No, they like Spock.
Yeah, Spock's hot as shit.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's the guy you can't get, and he's reserved, and he can't tell you his feelings, but you know they're there.
But you know that they're in there.
Yeah, he's hard to get. He's an ultimate hard to get guy.
Yeah, it's like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's so funny because we have a friend named Laura, and she's quite a bit younger than we are. She's probably just in her 30s, right? Maybe 40s at this point. And she had never seen the original Star Trek series, and she told me several months ago. And we ran into her when we were out, and she said that she had just binged the whole original Star Trek series. She's like, oh my god, Spock is like the hottest. And I was like, see? I was like, now you understand. Like, she didn't, because she had never seen it, like, growing up. But she immediately got it. Like, it showed from, like, the fucking 60s.
Well, the writers realized that there were three characters. It was a triumvirate. It was Spock. He was the brainy guy, no emotion. Then you had Kirk, he was the brash man of action. And they had Bones, and he's the sensitive guy. So really, you got Kirk in the middle, and he's being fucking kind of like critiqued by two fucking forces.
Yeah. Somebody
who's extremely logical, and another one that's extremely emotional.
Yeah.
And that worked. That drove that series. But that didn't start until like season 2.
Yeah.
They realized.
But that's really the best part of that show.
Yep.
Like, anytime you have the three of them, like, doing shit and, like, interacting with each other, it's always fucking gold.
And it was a story about masculinity, really.
Yeah.
It's there were the three different faces of the masculine identity. You know, passion, fucking logic, and then just boldness in the middle and trying to decide between the two.
Yeah. Like, what's the best approach?
What's the best way to go? You know?
Yeah.
Damn it, Jim! You know, damn it, Jim! You're just gonna let that man die like that? You know, okay, that kind of shit. You know? And then on the other end, Spock was like, you know, you have to make a decision here, Jim. You know what I mean? Save the crew and let that man die, or we could all possibly die. You know, it's that kind. That's how Spock went down. Said, you know, you let me die, I'll save the ship. Remember in the motion picture, that's how Spock died.
Yeah, that's what was so cool about, like, I especially like the dynamic between Spock and Bones, because they were constantly sniping at each other, because they were almost on the surface like complete opposites.
Yeah.
But they still like had a lot of love and respect for one another.
Yeah, they were bros.
Yeah. And I thought that was so cool. I just really like that dynamic.
You green-eared Vulcan. You green-blooded.
I know, they were always like picking at each other and shit, and it's like, it was so funny. But like, you could tell that it was just done out of love, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't
a walking computer.
Yeah. So it's like, that's like my favorite part about. That's why I like a lot of Star Trek, but I mean, for nothing is ever going to top the original.
No, the original
series for me, just because that triad, those three characters, it was just like perfect.
Certain aspects of the Next Generation were good. Certain seasons weren't very good. The first couple seasons weren't very good, but it got better.
Yeah,
and I liked some of that. Really, and I piss off a lot of Star Trek fans. My favorite series, though, aside from the original series, was Star Trek Enterprise, and the thing with fucking Archer and fucking Shran, who was Jeffrey Combs, plays fucking Shran.
I mean, I'm always gonna love anything.
Yeah,
Jeffrey
I want to see a movie with Jeffrey Combs playing Shran.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I would love that.
He's the main character.
Like I said, I'll watch anything with Jeffrey Combs in. Like he's just like Bruce Campbell or anybody like that. Like, he's a fucking national treasure as far as I'm concerned, and I will watch anything he's in. I don't care if it's crappy.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
And the chick that played T'Pol, she kind of defined the Vulcan female character.
Yeah,
the best Vulcan female. T'Pol was a great one, Great character. You know, how do you take Nemoy's concept of what a Vulcan is, and how do you apply that to female gender?
Yeah.
And she did it. I think she did a great job. And those pants didn't hurt either.
Well, that's
those pants was.
That's really funny. Yeah. Camp Guy says it was a great Frankenstein TV miniseries back in the late 1970s. It was a huge ratings hit and an office water cooler, not watercolor, water cooler subject. I think I vaguely remember that, but I don't think I ever saw it. Like I said, I really like the Frankenstein story. I mean, it's been done a million times, obviously, and a lot of times not very well. But I'd be curious to see that, actually. But yeah, it's just cool to me that as many times as Frankenstein has been done, a story that universal is sort of timeless, you know what I mean? So the fact that it can still be made in 2025 and people are getting into it that's pretty awesome, you know? I mean, like I said, it's Guillermo del Toro, and you can tell that like this was his favorite book ever, and he's been wanting to make this his whole life. So I'm glad he finally got a chance to. Have you guys seen Cabinet of Curiosities? Like, that's also on Netflix. It's like an anthology series. I think I did a review of it maybe on my other channel. But that's great too. But yeah, everything about this, I haven't seen much criticism. Like, I saw a few people complain that it's like, oh, they thought it was boring or they couldn't get into it or something like that. But I mean, it seems like most, like 99% of the people that I've seen on there like loved this, you know. How can you not? I don't understand how you could not love this. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, we can probably go ahead and shut it down.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to shut it down for this Monday night. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. So we'll be back on Wednesday night. Not doing true crime this Wednesday night. We're finally getting around to doing good old Spoonbender Uri Geller.
Uri Geller, would you do that? Okay. Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that guy. Hopefully he doesn't sue us.
Is he still around?
Yeah, he's still around. He's still around. I've heard he's kind of sue happy. So we'll see. If anything bad happens, we'll just put allegedly at the end of every sentence. We should be fine. So that's what we're gonna do on the show Wednesday night. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. Have a good rest of your evening, you guys. Have a good day tomorrow, and we'll see you guys again on Wednesday night. Good night.